Hello and welcome back to the Villa View for another match preview. This time Aston Villa face bottom of the league Preston at Villa Park. So this will be another episode where I'm joined by James Rushton, so much like the last preview this will be just me in this shot today and audio only for James. I'm recording this intro after we've just recorded, so I know that my camera has a couple of overheating issues during this video, so at some points it'll just be audio, but I think that was only a very short period by the time I get down to edit it. If anyone wants to buy me a new camera, that'd be great, because this one is clearly on its last legs. But yeah, let's get into this video and see what James has to say about Preston North End coming to Villa Park on Tuesday. Right, James, thanks for joining me once again on this lovely Monday evening. Up next is Preston on Tuesday night. If there was ever a must-win game, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah, you really have to believe that the pressure's really turned up now on Steve Bruce and Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Because I think we've got an international break coming up after the Millwall game on the weekend. And if there's a perfect time to get rid of someone, it's then, isn't it? I mean, we said that before, but the context is so much different now. We only lost one game, where everyone was annoyed that we lost 4-1. We haven't kicked on that well, and we did all right in the last match against Bristol City, I guess. So now is the time, really. Now, there is no better time than now to start winning games and playing like you mean it.
Yeah.
And if Villa can't turn it on against Preston and against Millwall, and I think it's locked out.
This is the week where this time next week we should be thinking that we're 6 points better off and are on 20 points, whatever it is. And I've seen we're 6 points behind Albion now, who are top, and they played Preston in the last game incidentally. So we're already catching up with 2 games, and it doesn't sound like a lot, 6 points, but I think we were around 6 points behind the top 2 for a large part of last season before the gap got massive. And it can get massive if you don't get back to winning ways sooner than you'd like. So this is a chance now that, if Albion or Leeds and Middlesbrough, whoever they play in midweek, I haven't checked, if one of those slips up and we take advantage and you're back within 3 points of the top, that's great, and obviously you want to try and kick on from there. Is that going to happen? Or are we going to be playing catch up for the rest of the season now?
Well, we're already points behind, so it is a case of, I think we are catch up from now on. It just depends how long we can keep winning for, because, if a streak has to happen, again, it has to happen now. And I know we were quite mopey last time. And I think we've got a little bit of reason to be a bit more positive now, because we either win 2 games or surely it's Judgment Day. I was really positive at the start of the Bristol City match. And, certain things happen. You can see the goal, the game gets stodgy. It's an away game, it happens. I certainly thought there was a point before Villa equalised where I thought Steve Bruce will have to make his case now. Seriously have to, get that dreaded vote of confidence, get in front of the board and make his case. But I think that won't happen unless Villa screw it up in these next 2 games.
So Preston have lost the last 4, but I think in each game they've scored twice. I might be wrong there. No, I am wrong. In 3 of the 4 they've scored twice. So the games, I think they've all been 3-2. So as you'd think this is a game that's going to have goals in it, it's one of those weird sort of teams that they're bottom of the league, and I think they've only won 1 this season. It might have been the opening day. So they're on a horrible run, and I think Preston should be doing much better than they are. I haven't watched any of their games, but you almost feel like looking at the results alone and the score lines that they probably shouldn't be bottom. If they're scoring 2 goals a game, that's enough to win games most of the time. If you scored 2, you think you've got a good chance of picking up some sort of points. So if we're on form, we can nick a goal, but then we're open to conceding as well. Obviously not kept a clean sheet. So I'd put all your money on a 2-2 or 3-2 going on Preston's results so far.
I think they're really unlucky. I think when you look at this game, it's very easy to say you're playing the bottom team, you have to win. But again, it's paper, isn't it? This team is so much better than their position. It's a case of one of those things where if they keep doing what they're doing, it will work out, because you don't score 2 goals a game like that. No team scores 2 goals a game like that and goes down. Something clearly has not gone their way for them to score 2 goals a game. Bar one. I think there's one match where they lost to Leeds 3-0.
Yeah.
But every game apart from that, even in the Cup, they scored 2 goals a game, and it's pretty unreal what's happened to them in their position. I look at that and it's maddening. But hey, we'll see what happens. But again, I think you look at this and Villa need to be professional, and this will be a perfect test of them kicking on, because Preston are looking to turn their season around. Yeah. And again, scoring 2 goals a game, you got to say that's on the cards. It's been on the cards for every single game.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's a little bit of a worry with our defence as it is at the moment, that we're playing a team that, they're bottom of the league, and like you say, on paper, that should be right, Villa win, or we hope we win, we expect to win. But do you think with our defence and the way it is, and the fact that going off the stats they score 2 goals a game, is that a worry for us, or is that just a little bit of a blip period? That because you also got the other side of it where they're scoring 2 goals a game but getting nothing, so that must be disheartening and bringing the confidence down, rather than thinking, oh, the season might turn. They might be thinking, okay, well, what else can we do? We're still not picking up points, so let's just give up now.
Oh yeah, I think Villa again. It's defence will be a worry here because. It's it all comes down to being a professional, having that game plan ready. And if that game plan's not there to go, then, one thing that worries me, just to go on a tiny bit of a tangent, is that Preston, hungry, younger team, counter-attacks, and Villa are playing at home, and they do like to hold on to the ball a bit. So if Villa's sitting high, passing the ball around and not getting it in the goal, not scoring and wasting chances, Preston are going to have a field day if that happens. If Villa play the way they usually do, then what's to say that Preston can't take advantage of a counter-attack like they've been doing all season?
Yeah.
The issue there, the catch-22 and the paradox is that Villa have to play that way. Otherwise, people are going to get on their back. Villa can't sit back and counter. They have to play that way. So it's going to be tough, really tough for Villa to prove themselves, because the way they have to play is the way that's going to bring them down.
I'm quite interested to see how the atmosphere plays out on Tuesday, actually, because I've said before, I always feel the atmosphere is different on a Tuesday night than it is on a Saturday. It's usually a little bit flatter from my experience. And now that you've got the fans have voiced their displeasure in what's going on with Steve Bruce and the tactics and everything else in the last, 3 or 4 games, is it now? We've had Bruce out chance and you don't know what you're doing and all that sort of thing. I'm curious to see how that affects the game Tuesday. Is it going to be the first time someone misplaces a pass in the first few minutes? Is it going to be Bruce out from the whole end? Or are the crowd going to be behind him and we get to half time and it's 0-0 and then they start to turn? It's that weird sort of middle ground atmosphere that you don't really know how it's going to go yet. If we concede early, it's going to turn pretty bad pretty quick. But if we score early, are those people then going to start showing their support as well? I don't know, it's a weird one. I'm keen to see how that affects the game in any way, if it does. Yeah,
it's quite weird with Steve Bruce, and especially at Villa Park, because I think the away fans have been on his back for a while, and they've always kind of been not waiting and watching for him to mess up or slip up. But I think that has always been there. They've fallen through a lot with him. They've fallen out a lot with him.
Yeah.
Especially Brentford on Boxing Day. They did the same thing then, chanting that he's going to get sacked, and it didn't happen. I think Steve Bruce has one massive benefit, and that I don't remember a manager that has been supported like him or has had the backing of him. And I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about the fans.
Yeah.
Because he can say a lot about what occurs on social media, but for the most part, when people chant Claret and Blue Army, Steve Bruce, his name is separate. It's separate from the actual chant. It's almost like its own chant.
Yeah.
Interspersed with another chant, and you say Paul Lambert's Claret Blue Army and stuff like that. Remy Gard's Claret Blue Army. It's all happened, but Steve Bruce is separate. It's almost like people are chanting for Steve Bruce and the club as 2 separate figures rather than joined. So I look at that and I say, hey, he's getting supported on his own, and there's not a manager like that that's had that support.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I don't know what the problem is when he kind of lashes out after the match, and he's definitely entitled to. I think sometimes personally, I do think he's entitled to say stuff like that. But when you say stuff like that, you have to build on it.
Yeah.
You have to deliver. But I think we've all kind of come to a natural end now where the job is done. It's fantastic. The club's stabilised. It's detoxified. It just needs to kick on. And I don't know whether it's going to do that under Bruce.
I just want to read a couple of tweets that I picked out earlier. These were ones that were sort of, I've searched the AVFC hashtag. I don't usually do it, but I just thought before this video I'd have a quick look through, see what people were saying. And these were like you can choose the different things at the top.
Yeah,
it's the top tweets of the week or whatever. This is from Oscillate WWFC. He says, the lunacy of Steve for promotions Bruce. If Al Mohammadi is considered to be a winger, he has 0 wingers starting but 4 on the bench. Or, if Al Mohammadi is considered to be a right back, he's got 3 right backs in the matchday squad, none of which who are playing at right back. You read that and you think, it's a minor thing, isn't it, really? It's talking about El Mohammadi, where he plays. I don't even think he started thinking about it. But it's those tiny little things that add up to be this general frustration, I find. That, if he is a right back, why aren't we playing a right back in right back? And if he's a winger, why aren't we playing with wingers? Why do we have so many options in so many positions that we don't seem to play?
But when those points are segregated, I think it's easy to bat each one away. You can say, oh, well, people performed better than Elmo in training. So why would Steve Bruce play the best person on paper if other people are turning up for training and doing better?
Yeah.
You can bat it away like that. If that was the case, you could bat it away. But when it's in the context, when it's surrounded by all that context and all that toxicity, it does make you question a lot of things. It's like, why isn't Lansbury playing? Why did we buy Lansbury?
Yeah.
Why have certain moves happened? Why have certain moves not happened? Where is James Bree? It's like every answer or any question that comes up raises 6 different ones.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's annoying. And I think I saw that tweet, and what attracted me most to the tweet was Steve for promotions Bruce, because you do get a lot of mentions of, especially like quote unquote non-partisan figures in the media who say, oh, Steve Bruce has done it before.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he hasn't done it at Aston Villa. And if we are to, follow the principles of mindfulness and live in the now, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So we would move on with any aspect of our lives. So why do we stick with this if we're not happy with it?
So I'll read you another tweet now. This is from Howard Hodgson. He says, I do believe Steve Bruce has put together a squad that doesn't suit his way of doing things. He likes a solid defence, and we don't have one. He likes leaders like John Terry and Robert Snodgrass in the dressing room, but they're not here anymore. It's a good squad, but not under Bruce. It's a mismatch, no harmony. Is that something you agree with, disagree with?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, I'm not sure what the situation was with Villa and transfers, but I think it was obviously a bit hectic this summer to get much stuff done.
Yeah.
When it was, due to the takeover, everything was kind of done at the end. If rumours are to believe, I don't know if it's true, but Steve Bruce was in charge of it. I think he tried to get the best squad possible that he could. And, I do truly believe that we tried to get a centre-back in and it's fallen apart, and he's already let Alfit go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the harm. It's lacking something, and whether that's like a new manager or not, because hey, you put a new manager in, what if you have the same problems?
Yeah.
And that's not a defence of Bruce. That's me saying, what if there are structural issues in this team that could not be solved in that transfer window, and due to a number of issues or errors, they still persist? I don't know. But there's something definitely wrong.
We sort of had a chat on WhatsApp earlier, and we sort of, neither of us picked the same team that we thought Bruce would go for. Considering that I make the graphics, I've gone with the team that I think Bruce will go for the graphics specifically, but I will talk through it anyway. So we've got Neeland in goal, El Mohammadi right back, Axel Twanzebe and James Chester at centre back, with Alan Hutton at left back, Glenn Whelan, John McGinn and Jack Grealish making up a midfield 3, Adoma on the right hand side, Tammy Abraham up front and Jonathan Codger on the left. So like I say, this is more so the team that I think Bruce will go for. I know that there's a couple of positions that you disagree with. I almost feel like this is a game where Bruce, I'm absolutely massively speculating that Bruce will pick players that he sort of trusts and the sort of the favourites, you Elmos and people like that. I don't think it's a game for Jedinak at centre-back. Like I say, I haven't watched Preston, I don't really know what style they play. They score goals, whether that's through long ball, I don't know. Whether they pump it up and we need someone like Jedinak there, I'm not sure. I think Twanzebe is obviously faster, so maybe that deals with the threat of the likes of Robinson. My back four is probably the same. I'd probably prefer Taylor to Hutton. I just prefer a left-sided player on the left. I think I've said it might have been a preview with you before. I'm not sure whether Hutton makes our best 11 now. Whelan, sort of tried and tested, comfortable. He's not played for a little bit either, I don't think. So, he comes in fairly fresh. He sits in front of the back four. McGinn and Grealish are obvious too. They both get picked regardless, I think. And the front three could be argued, maybe El Ghazi, but then he's looked right in the spells he's had and then hasn't played for a couple as well. So is he out of favour as well? I'm not quite sure. I feel like Codger on the left is a different option, and I think that's sort of the team that I think Bruce will go for. Me personally, if we were sticking with the same formation, I'd have Codger or El Ghazi on the left, either or. I'd prefer Bjarnason in the middle over Whelan. He scored last game as well. There's no reason to drop him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. And as I say, Taylor over Hutton at left back, but I think the rest, I'd be fairly happy with that. What do you think Bruce will do?
I think we'll still see Twanzebe as a right back, and the reason for that is I don't see Mile Jedinak getting dropped.
Okay.
Because if Mile Jedinak gets dropped, it's almost like a centre back should start every game, even if there's Mile Jedinak, sorry, come out as one word there. But even if every centre back should start every game, and I think Mile Jedinak, retired from international football now. He's not going away with Australia anymore across the world. You know, there's massive long haul flights.
Yeah.
So I think every game, Steve Bruce should be looking for Jedinak to be the centre back, and that's probably the best thing, to be honest. Not because he's the best centre back, but if you're Steve Bruce and you want him to become a centre back, he has to play centre back. That's the only way around it. That's the only way it's going to happen. And he's getting there. Like, we have to be honest, he's improved. You know, there's been dry spells here, there's been issues, but for the most part, he is getting better slowly. And hey, maybe sticking Axel in there is the best thing to do, but I don't think he'll do that because it means reversing that major contentious point. In midfield, I've got Conor Hurahan, John McGinn, and Glenn Whelan. So I think that's pretty similar to yours. We've got this thing now with Jack Grealish where Bruce has developed him into a central midfielder. Then Bruce didn't play him in central midfield anymore. So now he's on the left again, and I think we'll see him on the left again. I don't see why he wouldn't be on the left anymore. Because that, again, it's going back on himself. I only see us kind of quote unquote going forward here with his ideas. So I see Grealish on one wing, and I have Ghazi on the right, maybe, with Codger in the middle.
So, James, we'll finish. I think we're coming up to, 25 minutes-ish recording so far. So we'll finish with our predictions for the match. I'll let you go first as the guest of the channel. Okay,
so this prediction, it's not necessarily what I think will happen, because I've got no reason to believe this will happen apart from some what's gone on before with Preston. This is what I want to happen, and what I want to happen is for Villa to beat Preston 4-2 at home.
Okay.
And I see that happening. It's not like I don't think that will happen. I think it's what I want to happen, and I think it might happen. I just don't have enough confidence to say this is the definite result. This is just a prediction.
Okay, 4-2. I like it. I hope it happens. I'd love to keep a clean sheet at some point again. I don't see that. Oh, God, it's overheated again. Right, my camera's just overheated and died. We've only got prediction left, so I'm going to finish this bit with audio only from both of us, so happy days. So I'm going for 3-0 Villa. I'll be shocked if we don't win, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. It's that really weird catch-22 where I fully expect us to win, but I wouldn't be that shocked if we lost, because Preston score goals, we concede goals. If they're 2-0 up at half-time or something, I don't see us coming back from that. Hopefully it's the other way around, that we score early and we just have a nice comfortable game for a change. That would be lovely.
Would be nice.
Thank you very much for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed what we had to say about the Preston game. There will be fan cams after the game. If it's not Dan, it will be James, who's just joined me, that will be doing fan cam. So come and see us, have your thoughts on the game and what's going on at Villa at the moment. Hopefully we'll be there to talk about 3 points for Villa. I'm fully expecting that 3-0 win. Now I've predicted it. Thanks for all your support. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, leave your comments below and subscribe to the channel. Ever close to hitting 13,000 now, as I said a couple of videos ago, so that'll be a nice little milestone if we can hit it. Thanks for watching. Up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click one of the video options on screen now, and if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.